Hey. If you follow me on the internet, you'll know that I do a lot of things. I like to think of myself as like a internet jack of all trades who writes fan fiction and writes books and draws and makes webcomics and makes video games and makes YouTube videos and makes whatever this is. I make a lot of stuff because I think a lot of stuff is really fun to make. But the reason I do so many things is because I have a lot of interests. Like, I really like reading webcomics, I love reading books, I love listening to podcasts, I love watching YouTube, I love playing video games, I love all that stuff. And as soon as I get really into something, like, my brain does this thing where it's like, you really enjoy, like, watching that thing or reading that thing. You should make that thing too. Like, if they can do it, you can do it. And I'm like, oh my god, brain, you're right. I love listening to this podcast. I could make a podcast too. And then I start doing another thing, even though I've already got 75 other projects on the go, and school, and work, and all that. So, you know, I feel like this must happen to a lot of people, right? Like, the first time this really happened to me, okay? When I was, like, really young, I loved reading books all the time. I was, like, that kid who just, like, had massive bookshelves and read, like, books, multiple books a week, and just, like, all the books. And that was why I really wanted to be a writer, because I was like, wow, these books are so cool. I, too, want to write books. Like, when I was young and I was really into the Babysitters Club, I had this, like, big notebook where I had written the titles, summaries, and, like, very complex descriptions of, like, a good 50 Babysitters Club books. I was like, I'm gonna write the Babysitters Club sequels or something. And I had, like, planned so many volumes because I really liked reading the Babysitters Club, so I was like, I too could write the Babysitters Club. Then I got a little bit older and realized maybe I shouldn't try to write things that have already been written, but just write my own stuff. And then I wrote so much stuff, and now I'm going to university to study writing, to be a writer, because I, as a child, really loved reading books. And then I got older and I got into more things. Like, I really got into manga when I was like, I don't know, like a young teenager. And then that was when I started drawing, because I was like, wow, these comics are so cool. I too want to draw cool stuff like that. And then I started like a DeviantArt page and then a Tumblr art blog, and now I draw stuff. And then I discovered webcomics. I got into Homestuck and I was like, whoa, you can make your own comics on the internet? You don't even need to like publish them? I'm gonna do that. And I've made so many webcomics. A lot of them I didn't finish, but I started them and I made them. And I finished some. Well, I finished one. It's called Angelic Wisdom. I'll put the link in the description. And I'm working on another one now. Because I was like, those are cool and I want to make them too. And like, when I was younger and I was really into like pet websites, like Neopets and stuff, I had, again, a notebook where I designed my entire own pet websites. I didn't know enough about like coding and art and stuff at the time to actually make those websites, but I planned them all out because I was like, this is cool and I want to do that too. Like, the entire reason I have this YouTube channel is because I got really into watching YouTubers, and I was like, if they can make videos, I can do that too. And like, I got really into video games a few years ago. I took a class on video games and I went from being like, video games are cool and interesting to like, oh my god, I love video games. I made a video game, well, a demo of a video game called Kick-Ace, which someday, when I have time, hopefully I'll finish, but it's a demo right now. I made it because I was like, video games are cool and I want to make one. It was for a class, but still, I wanted to do that because I thought they were cool. And like, the most recent example, and the reason I've been like thinking about it lately, is recently I got really into the McElroy brothers podcasts. If you've been spending any time on the internet lately, you've probably heard of them. They do the Adventure Zone podcast, they do My Brother and Me. The other one I've been listening to a lot is Interrobang, which is one of the brothers, Travis, his podcast with his friend Tybee. I've been really into those podcasts lately, I've been listening to them a ton, and as always happens when I get really into something, I was like, I want to do that too. So even though I have a million other things to do, I've been planning in my head a podcast that I really want to make, which maybe I'll never get around to making, maybe I'll make far in the future, maybe I'll make next week, I don't know. But I got really into it and I wanted to do it too. And it's really fun, I think, because it's like me taking all the media I consume and creating something out of it, which is fun and interesting, and I love making things, but also it can get a little overwhelming because sometimes I wish I only had like 1 or 2 hobbies and I could just put all my effort and thought and focus into that and then I would never be distracted. But no, I have like 75 different projects I'm always working on, which works for me, I guess, because it's what I do and I love making lots of different things. But for some people, maybe they would only have like 1 or 2 hobbies, and I'm kind of jealous of those people because I feel like they get a lot more done in that one area. Like, I'm in a writing department at my university, and a lot of people in the writing department have like one focus, and they like get published in that area before they even graduate, and they like write like, one of my profs who was a student at my university, like in the writing department before he was a teacher, he wrote like 85 short stories in university. 85 stories! I guarantee you that guy did not have a lot of other hobbies if he managed to write 85 short stories in 4 years. there's no way I could physically write 85 short stories because I'm so busy doing other things, which is fine and cool, but like, sometimes I'm like, wow, I wish I too could have the focus to write 85 short stories and get them published and become a writing prof, and like, that would be my identity. So yeah, I don't know, this is just something I was thinking about because I really want to make a podcast. If I do, I'll let you know and it'll be on this channel. If I don't, well, not every project pans out. But yeah, also, if you haven't listened to the MacLeod brothers podcasts, I would very much recommend it. They're excellent. The Adventure Zone is super cool if you like fantasy and D&D. My Brother and Me is just like fun, goofy advice show, and Tarot Bang talks about a lot of really good issues. I love it. They have a lot of other podcasts that I haven't listened to, but I'm sure they're good, so would recommend. Yeah, I was just thinking about this lately. I'm sure other people have this too, where they just like get really into something and then they too want to do that thing, and I think that's great, and I wish, like, the dream would be that I would inspire other people to make stuff by the stuff that I make. Like, that's like, really cool. I would love to be able to inspire people the way other creators inspire me. So let me know, does this happen to you? Do you like get really into something and then want to do the same thing and want to make more things like that? Do you too have way too many hobbies? Or are you one of those people who has like one real focus and makes tons of stuff in that area? And if so, let me know how that works and how you could possibly focus on one thing, because sometimes, especially when I'm in school and I need to be focusing on my school stuff, I'd really like to know how to be able to focus on one thing and not just like get distracted every time I get a new hobby or a new interest. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think, and like this video and subscribe if you want more videos. I make videos about video games and Homestuck and anime and drawing and all kinds of stuff because, like I said, I have a lot of interests, a lot of variety, and I have a really hard time sticking to one thing. But thanks for watching, and thank you to everyone who follows this channel, even though it's kind of an eclectic mess of different things, because that's just who I am. Thanks!